Hi, Sakshi. Welcome on YourPedia.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, so Sakshi, I'm going to interact with you, and I would like to know a couple of things from you. You are presently working in US, and you have done your masters from there, and you are a bio student. You have done your
Uh,
masters in bioscience, I suppose.
yeah, but my master's was from Jaipur, and right now I'm at India itself in Bangalore.
Okay, so your masters you have done from Jaipur, and what
Yes.
you've done, your PhD you've done later on, right?
No, I have applied for my PhD as of now. So
Okay,
I got admit from University of South
okay,
Florida.
okay,
So
okay.
yeah.
And you're working in Bangalore right now.
Yeah, I'm working in Bangalore.
Okay, okay. So I correct myself. Sakshi, I would like to interact with you and know about all these things.
Yeah.
So can we start with your brief academic background in which we want to know from where you've done your graduation and what was the graduation domain, and then
Yeah.
masters, as you said, you've done from Jaipur. So masters in which
Yeah.
specialization?
Yeah.
And after masters, now you're doing job. So after masters, did you join job immediately, or
Yeah.
there was some kind of gap? So those kind of details we want to know.
Yeah. So basically, I pursued my bachelor's from KRG College, which is a part of
Mhm,
Jivaji University from Gwalior
mhm.
itself. So my
Okay,
native is Gwalior. So
okay.
after that, I pursued my master's in bioscience from
Mhm,
Vanastali Vidyapeeth. There, I was
mhm,
a gold medalist.
mhm,
At that time, I decided to go for a second master's in immunology. So
okay,
my research interest was particularly in immunology
okay.
since my master's itself. So
Mhm,
that time I applied to a couple of universities, especially in UK. I
mhm,
accepted my offer from University of Manchester back then, but I
mhm,
did not go because of COVID. So
okay.
in 2021, I finished my master's from
Mhm,
Vanastali itself, and
mhm,
after that, I decided to go for a couple of internships
mhm,
to get hands-on experience. As during COVID,
mhm,
getting research experience was not possible, especially
mhm,
in life sciences sector.
mhm,
So after doing some internships in multiple research domains like nanotechnology, microbiology, molecular biology, etc., then I
mhm,
decided to join Syngene. Syngene is
mhm,
basically India's largest pharma-based client research organization and also
mhm.
Asia's second largest. So
Okay.
right now, over here at Syngene, I'm working for around 1.5 years as of now,
Okay. Mhm,
and my previous project was on cancer biology. Right now, I'm working on insulin based assays. Yeah.
mhm, mhm. Okay. So Sakshi, looks like you're doing a very good job in a very good
Yeah.
company, as you mentioned. So,
Yeah.
so what was the need? What need you were feeling to go for higher education and PhD and all, and that too from abroad?
Yeah, so during my bachelor's itself, I wanted to go abroad for my master's, but as I said that due to COVID, it was not possible for me. So
Mhm,
after my master's, I decided that I should go directly for a PhD and not the second master's.
okay.
So I got some research experience first because in life
Mhm,
sciences, getting research experience is very important if you want to go into good universities. So yeah,
mhm.
that's why
Mm.
I did
So,
this.
if I talk about biology students, those who are
Yeah.
having background of bio, I have seen a lot of inclination among these students for pursuing higher educational courses, whether these are
Yeah.
master's courses or doctorate courses.
Hmm.
Can you tell me, Sakshi, what are the good research areas for bio students in which
Hmm.
they can pursue their research for very good career thereafter? You mentioned about
Yeah.
cancer biology, which I could
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
So what are the other, research areas in which they can aspire to go for higher education?
Okay, so first of all, I feel that PhD is very important. Before coming into research areas, I would like to tell that even if you're working in industry, during that time also PhD is important because with no prior experience in industry, you'll join directly as a research associate. And after
Mhm.
that, it will take you around 2 years to get promoted to senior research associate, then as
Okay.
associate scientist next 2 years, and so on.
Mhm.
However, if you have pursued PhD already, then you can join directly as a principal investigator, which is
Mhm.
like 4 to 5 positions higher than if
Mhm.
you join directly as a fresher or after your master's.
Mhm.
So even if you're working in industry or academia, if you want to become a professor, PhD is a must in life sciences. So
Okay.
that is
Mhm.
why PhD, as I said, I wanted to do it. After that, talking about research areas, I would say immunology is a highly growing field right now because industries are hiring a lot of immunologists. Even my company is paying a lot of attention to this sector. Also, if I talk about other research areas, neuroscience is really nice. Molecular biology is also nice, cell biology, and these areas are particularly growing areas in my field.
Wonderful.
So yeah.
So you just mentioned that many students want to go for PhD and they should go for PhD because that gives some kind of advantage in their career, which they want
Yes.
to pursue
Yes.
later on. Are you talking
Yeah.
about Indian market, Indian ecosystem, or are you talking about the global ecosystem? Because what we know in India is like, students do not want to go for PhD, thinking that PhD, after PhD, the only opportunity they will get is in the academics or teaching and not in the industry. So that may not provide them very good career, after PhD. So when you're saying, okay, PhD is very important and it is must
Yes.
for having very good career,
Yes.
what
Yes.
do you mean by that? Is it India
Yeah.
for India or abroad?
So India as well. So as I just said that I have worked in academia and right now I'm working in industry. So after coming over here, there were a lot of master students who joined. Some of them were IITians as well, and they joined
Mhm.
directly after their college.
Mhm.
But then their growth was really very slow. However,
Okay.
there were people who did their masters and went to pursue PhD abroad, did their
Okay.
postdocs as well, and then joined the industry. So they are directly at good positions over here. So
Mhm.
you will take around 11 to 13 years to get into that position, and after PhD you can get that position directly. So that is why I feel that a PhD is very important for industry as well. So yeah.
Okay, Sakshi, now coming to your selection in a PhD position abroad, can you please tell us which university you have got and what is the area, a specialization area in which you are going, and what were the credentials required to get admit in that university?
Okay. So first of all, I didn't write GRE. The only exam that I gave was IELTS, and my score was 8 bands. After IELTS, I focused a lot on my CV. I already have 5 publications in hand, and other than that, my credentials as of my bachelor's, I was a third rank holder. In my master's, I was having 9.13 CGPA, and there I was a gold medalist again. So I guess they paid a lot of attention on that whenever I gave an interview. So they saw my credentials and they were impressed with that. Also, they were quite impressed with my publications. So I again feel that if you're having a publications, then that is a very much plus point
Mhm.
into life sciences field.
Mhm.
So I think publications, having good credentials, as in your bachelor's and master's marks, are
Mhm.
very important. Other than that, overall, the research experience that we are having, even if
Mhm.
the marks are low, but if we are
Mhm.
having good research experience, especially in the field that we are applying for, that is very
Mhm.
important. However, one thing that I would like to mention, I got my PhD. I accepted my offer from University of South Florida as of now in PhD in medical sciences. My concentration will be allergy, immunity, and infectious diseases over there. So I had no prior experience in immunology till now. Also, I'm not having experience in immunology, but I'm having a vast experience in other backgrounds, so of life sciences. So again, I would say that people say that you need a lot of experience in immunology, then only you will get it. Then that is not required. I mean, still there, if you are having experiences in other fields also, that is also sufficient for getting a PhD. But research experience is important overall.
Mhm. Okay, Sakshi, I'm interacting with you, and I can see that you have a vast experience also in your domain. You have worked
Yeah.
in academia, you are working
Hmm.
in industry, you have your research papers, and
Hmm.
you have done your masters also.
Yeah.
The other day, I was interacting with one candidate in biomedical only, and she was final year student, undergraduate,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
uh, understandable. She's not having research papers and all, and not that
Okay.
experience. She also got selection in one of the very good universities for direct PhD program. I would like
Okay.
to ask you, like, for the students who are in undergraduation and they are in their
Hmm.
third year, final year, and if
Hmm.
they're planning to go for direct PhD immediately after their graduation,
Hmm.
what kind of credentials they should have and where they should focus? Because certain things will come with pass of time only. I mean, research papers publishing may be easier once you do masters,
Hmm.
but in undergraduation it may not be that easy, right? So
Hmm.
undergraduate student, where he or she should focus so that he also starts exploring and gets good opportunities.
Okay, so during undergraduation, we have this opportunity of doing our thesis. So, for instance, if somebody is interested in cell biology, particularly in the field of cancer, or somebody is interested in biochemistry, so they can try to do their dissertations in these areas. I would like to suggest these students that try to look for institutes whose professors are proficient in these sectors. For instance, IISc, IITs, they can go for internships over there, and they can start applying beforehand their final year. So if they get research experience in these areas, especially if they do their internship, then also they can get their PhD in that. So,
So that is a very good point actually, to do internship, that too from some research organization, which
yes,
eventually
yes,
helps them to get into the
yes.
good research opportunity. How can a student make his or her CV very effective for eventually impressing the professor and getting the selection? What should be reflected on CV?
First thing is their marks. So
Okay.
if we are okay, so the first thing that we put in our CV is our bachelor's is from this
Yeah.
university, and so our marks. So if since they have already got into a university, they cannot really change it. However, they can be good in their studies and improve it. So I got around 68% in my bachelor's, but there I got a recommendation letter from my professor stating that I was a third rank holder, so that sufficed it. So
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So when you say good CGPA, what is that definition of good CGPA, Sakshi? I mean, it should be like 7 plus CGPA or 70% plus. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so it depends upon the university. First of all, some universities are accepting 70% plus, they say.
Mm.
But then I think good credentials, maybe something above 8 CGPA or above 80% is fine. However, as I just said, that even my percent was low in my bachelor's, it was 67%, 68%, sorry. But there again, I was a rank holder, and nobody in my university got above 70%. So if we can get a letter from our professor stating the
Okay.
same thing, then that would manage that. Also, my master's CGPA was 9.13, and as I just said, I was a university topper there. So anything above 8 CGPA I felt was fine.
So,
Yeah.
so that brings me to the next relevant question, which many students ask us, that suppose they do not have very good CGPA in the graduation level, but
Yes.
they have good CGPA in the master's level. Will
Hmm.
it be sufficient? I mean, suppose I'm having very poor CGPA, let's say 6 to 6.5, and master's is
Hmm.
very good, 8 to 8.5. So, will
Hmm.
that be sufficient, or do they focus CGPA of your graduation also for admit in PhD program?
Okay, so I guess it depends upon the university, because
Mhm.
I had my personal experience in this. I
Mhm.
applied to a professor who was really good in his field from Dalhousie University, Canada.
Mhm.
He accepted me, and I got an acceptance letter from his lab in August last year. But then the things was that when I was applying to the university, they were not ready to accept my bachelor's CGPA. So
Mhm.
that is why ultimately the university didn't accept me, because their criteria was I
Mhm.
was not fitting their minimal criteria. But the professor accepted me. So that thing, I guess, is somewhere problematic. However, in US, I didn't face that problem. When I stated that I was a rank holder and my rank was again sufficing my bachelor's percentage, so I didn't face that much problem in USA. So I guess that overall, it depends from university to university overall.
So do we have some minimum requirement of IELTS score also? You said you got 8 band. So
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
band they should target? I mean, students should target to get admission in good university abroad.
I think minimum 7 should be there. Even if
Okay.
it's 6.5, then some universities accept it. However, mostly universities accept a score that is above 7. If
Mm.
they are targeting UK, then there are many universities which accept a score of 5.5 as well.
Mm.
But anything above 7 is good
Good. Okay.
overall.
So you also said that GRE was waived off and it was not required in your
Yes,
case.
yes,
And that trend we have seen post-COVID. Earlier, many universities in
yes,
US,
yes,
they
yes.
used to
That's
ask for
true.
GRE score. So now students,
Hmm.
they keep on asking that this particular trend that no GRE is required is a very temporary phenomena, or is it going to be there? I mean, when they are planning to write, let's say 1 year down the line, so they will also not write GRE, and only on the basis of IELTS they will get it. So what is your view on that?
Yes, prior to COVID, GRE was a must in almost all universities, all US universities especially. However, after COVID, US has particularly waived off GRE. So if there are students who do not want to write GRE, they can focus on countries like none of the countries in Europe is asking for GRE in life sciences, and also in Canada as well. So if they want to, they are particularly adamant that they do not want to write GRE, then they can focus on these countries. However, if they are targeting particularly US, then GRE score would be an added advantage for their CVs. So even if the university is not asking and still they are having a good GRE score, then their chances of getting into the universities would increase definitely.
Now, Sakshi, the next question is a kind of, big debate which is going on in India also as of now. And, many students keep on asking us also as mentor that, sir, whether we should go abroad for PhD or India, because India also has a wonderful institutes, wonderful professors and infrastructure. Why you should go for, PhD for abroad university, foreign universities? Why, how you can answer this particular question? Why abroad?
Okay. First of all, because I think that they pay much more compared to universities in India. So, and also, I believe that the infrastructure that we are having in universities as of now in India is comparatively lower to that they are having in abroad. So, also, I feel that the professors over there are a little bit open-minded as compared to Indian professors over here. So, yeah, that was my main reason.
So
Yeah.
good. When you said they pay better, what do you mean by that? So maybe that brings me to the next question. Scholarship, what is the typical scholarship a student can get and how much they can save? I tell you, there are so many students here who always compare, once they're in PhD, they compare themselves with the people who do job.
Yes.
So typically, in India, they get 35,000 in hand and that they have to live also. So ultimately, saving can't be more than 15K per month. And then there are so many people who are to support their families and all. So when it comes to US doing PhD there, Sakshi, I'll ask you a very straight question. What is the typical scholarship a student can get and how much they can save? What is expenditure? If you can tell us something about that.
Okay, so getting stipend again depends from university to university and also according to the field that the student has chosen. In life sciences, if I talk about particularly, it ranges somewhere from around $25,000 per annum to somewhere around $35,000. And this is a typical salary range that I'm telling you. I am receiving around $33,500 per year. And one of my friend, he got into Mayo Clinic, which is one of the best cancer centers, and over there he's getting around $42,000 in annum.
Wonderful.
So per annum, yeah. So again, I would say that it depends on the university and the institute, but I would say $30,000 in my field. Yeah.
We've seen in European, especially Scandinavian countries, that PhD, where they advertise it as a job and employment, they tend to increase the scholarship annual basis the way they do in the employment. Do we observe the same trend in US also, or if it is fixed, as you said, 33K, it is fixed for per annum for you, it is going to be there in next 3-4 years?
For now, they have fixed it. I'm not sure if they'll be increasing it later on, but right now they have given me a fixed salary.
So,
Yeah.
how much can we saving? Can you save 1000K per month?
1000K, yes, I think so. If I'm getting around $2,500 in hand, then if I'm spending 1,200 on an average, then also I can save $1,000.
So,
Yes.
do we get tax
So
also on this? 33K is a taxable?
yes, there will be taxes. So maybe around 2,200 I'll be getting in hand if it's $33,500 and 2,200 in hand. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sakshi, now coming to next part about the duration. You mentioned a couple of things. You mentioned salaries or pay is one of the criteria. Second criteria which many students talk about is the duration. When we talk about India, one of the criticism is that duration of the PhD is not fixed. Obviously, it depends on the student also, but to great extent, ecosystem also. The kind of project professors have and professors also show the kind of urgency in providing you the PhD within the time. What is the typical duration when you are going to join PhD abroad? What is in your mind? After how many years you are going to complete it? What is the
Okay,
duration?
okay. So if I'm talking about life sciences, it depends from country to country. For instance, if somebody is doing PhD from Europe, it will take around 3 to 4 years. If somebody is doing PhD from Canada or USA, they will generally land up finishing their PhD in around 5 to 6 years. So 5.5 is an average that I would say from US as well as Canada in life sciences.
So that is in life sciences, right? So
Yes.
when I talk with engineering students, they typically tell me 4.5 years or
4
4.
years. Yes, 4 years generally. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So that
For
depends upon
engineering.
the domain in which you are going.
Yes, for life sciences, it's 5.5 years almost everywhere in US.
Okay, now coming to Sakshi, after PhD, is there
Mm.
anything in your mind once you complete your PhD, what you are gonna do? You are gonna join academics, you are going to do your postdoctoral fellowship, you are going to do your
Mm.
industrial job there. So what is in your mind after PhD, what you are gonna do?
Yeah, so as of now, I've planned to go for a postdoctorate after my PhD. So I'm
Okay.
quite stuck on that. After my
Mm.
postdoctorate, I would like to prefer academia mostly.
And what are the typical opportunities you are going to get there? And what are the typical career opportunities there? Like in terms of if you join a position of teacher there or a professor there, what is the kind of salary structure and all? Like we know in India how it is there. After PhD, what is going to be the career? If you do from there.
Yeah, so first of all, there are many institutes which are related to universities. For
Mm.
instance, University of South Florida, in which I have recently got admit from, there is a Moffitt Cancer Center, which is again among the top cancer centers in USA.
Mhm.
So I can join that institute as a scientist if I don't want to become a professor. So there are several institutes which are affiliated to universities, and I can go and maybe join them as a scientist, or I can become a professor, or I can join an industry. So there are several options, yeah, after
Mm.
PhD or
Okay.
postdoctorate.
So we have two options here. One, we can do PhD after masters the way you are doing.
Mm,
We have
mm,
option like immediately after graduation we can go for direct
yes.
PhD.
Mm,
In India, we see that not many students are aware about the second option. Like after
mm,
graduation, they can go directly for PhD, or maybe they don't believe that they're ready for that. What is
mm.
your take on that? On these two options?
Okay. Yes. So I was also looking for this option after my bachelor's. But there was one thing which I got to know, that 16 years of education is something which they require in US. So if you're having a BTech degree, which is a 4-year bachelor's,
That's
then you
true.
can go for then you can go for a PhD. But again, if you're having a 3-year bachelor's, then you will require a master's. So that is why I had to go for master's during that time. So that is something which people are not aware of during their
Mm.
bachelor's. So
But
if yeah.
mm. But if somebody has done Masters of Science, MSc Physics, MSc Chemistry,
Mm,
MSc Biology, which is 5 years
mm,
course, after
mm.
12th class.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that completes,
Mm.
that makes it, I think, 17 years. So and
Yes.
after MSc, you
Yes.
need not to go for MTech in India and then go for PhD abroad, right? You can directly go for
Yeah. Yeah.
PhD.
No. Yeah. Then they can directly go for PhD.
You can directly pursue that. Okay, Sakshi, now why
But
US?
after BSc,
Okay,
but after BSc only they cannot go. They
yeah,
I
after
have
BSc,
to
they can.
they have to go for BTech,
Mm. But if
4 years
suppose they
bachelor's
BSc,
overall.
BSc is or with honors or something at 4 years course, now as we know in the new educational policy, they made
Then
these
they
kind of
can.
provisions. Then they can go.
Mhm. Yeah. Then they can go. Yes.
Okay, Sakshi, my next question was related to US. Now, why you
Mm.
decided to go for US and why not Europe, or did you explore opportunities in Europe also?
Okay, so I wrote to a couple of professors in Europe.
Mm.
Also, there are sites like Find a PhD, Euraccess, Scholarship DB, and so on. I applied for a couple of positions over there. However, my main focus was US and Canada, preferably. In Canada, I wrote to a couple of professors, and I got into two universities over there. But then again, I waited for some time because I wanted to go into US. So in this October around, I started up planning my application for that, and I applied in US because I feel that my career options which will be much more as compared to that of Europe, and if I'm
Mm.
doing my PhD in USA. That's why.
Okay, so that is your individual choice and many other factors
Yes.
maybe, which, yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah, so Sakshi, that brings us to an end of this wonderful, session in which
mm,
I asked so many queries, and
yes.
I'm thankful to you. You gave very, very precise and concise answer to each one of my points. Now, any
Mm.
message which you have for the bio students who are listening to you?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to say that they need to start planning things right from the start itself. Also, one thing is that they should be focused on which sector they want to do their PhD from.
Okay.
For
Okay.
instance, I what now I feel is maybe I would have got to a much better university if I had some experience in immunology, particularly. But still, so if they're having research experience in that particular field, they will be getting in PhD in much better universities. So that I will say research experience is very important in getting a good university for PhD.
So is there any specific way to catch professor also? The way you said you should plan and then accordingly go.
Yeah, so there were two ways. First of all, I looked for research papers, and then after looking at research papers, then only I decided which professors I have to write emails to. Secondly, one thing was I targeted universities, the universities that were good in my field, and then I looked at which professors were publishing more, and the professors that were actively publishing, I wrote mails to them. So these two ways I preferred for looking for professors.
Okay, wonderful. So when are you going to join now, Sakshi? When is your PhD starting in US?
Yeah. So I'll be going over there, preferably before 16th of August for
Okay.
PhD.
So it starts in August
19th.
only.
Yeah, 19th August is the starting date for my
Okay, okay.
course. Yeah.
So that brings us to an end of this wonderful session, Sakshi.
Yeah.
Let me thank you for a time which you spared. And I'm very
Yeah.
sure the information which came from your side will be very, very valuable and helpful to students, especially students of biology who wants to pursue career in that direction. And we wish you all the very best for your PhD abroad. Thank you,
Thank
Sakshi.
you so much. Yeah.